You know, most people think retirement is the finish line. They are so wrong. It's not the end of the race. It's the start of a 30-year war against time, against inflation, against total market chaos. And your entire life savings? That's what's on the line.
Take a look at this number. For most of us, this isn't just a number. It's a symbol of an entire lifetime. We're talking decades of work, of disciplined saving, of saying no to things, all boiled down to this one figure. This is your war chest. And that leads to the one question that, let's be honest, keeps every single retiree awake at night. How do you make sure this, all of your life's work, doesn't run out before you do? This is the central battle of retirement, and today we are breaking down the game plan to win it. Now, for decades, there was one undisputed champion in the ring, a simple, powerful strategy that just dominated every retirement plan out there, the 4% rule. It was the legend, the one everyone bet on.
So here's how the legend works. It's pretty straightforward. In your first year of retirement, you withdraw 4% of your total savings. So from that $1 million portfolio we saw, you take out 40 grand. Simple enough? Every year after that, you just take that same amount and bump it up a little for inflation. And the promise? A steady, predictable paycheck for at least 30 years.
For a long, long time, this was the knockout punch. It was simple, it was reliable, and it just worked. But here's the thing. The fight has changed. The world we're all retiring into today is a much, much tougher arena, with brand new threats this old champion was never, ever designed to face.
In modern retirement, there are 3 new villains on the scene. 3 killers that can silently drain your portfolio and absolutely destroy even the most carefully laid plans. Let's meet them.
First up, longevity risk. Now, we're living longer than ever before, which is fantastic news, right? But it introduces a terrifying risk, the very real possibility that you could outlive your savings. A 30-year plan is great, but what if your retirement lasts 40 years? Your money now has to fight for way more rounds than anyone ever expected.
The second killer is the silent one, inflation risk. You got to think of it like a thief that just sneaks in every single year and shaves a little bit off your spending power. That $40,000 paycheck might feel great in year 1, but if inflation is running hot, it's going to buy you less and less as time goes on. It is a constant drain that old-school strategies really struggle to beat.
And the third killer, oh, this one is the most brutal. It's the haymaker you never see coming, sequencing risk. This is all about terrible timing. If a major market crash hits in the first few years after you retire, you're forced to sell your assets when they're way down, just to pay your bills. This can permanently cripple your portfolio's ability to ever recover.
And this just perfectly illustrates the danger. As the Amundi Research Center puts it, a crash early on is absolutely catastrophic because you have less capital left to benefit from the eventual market recovery. A bad first round can literally cost you the entire fight. So yeah, the 4% rule is vulnerable. We need new contenders.
All right, let's meet our first challenger, the bucket strategy. If the 4% rule is an old-school brawler just swinging for the fences, this is a smart, defensive fighter. It's not about landing knockout punches, it's about weathering the storm and protecting your assets no matter what.
The core idea here is incredibly intuitive. Instead of seeing your portfolio as just one big pile of money, you divide it into different buckets, and each one has a very specific job. You're literally building a defensive wall.
And it usually breaks down something like this. Bucket number 1 is your immediate cash reserve. Think 1 to 2 years of living expenses in something super safe and liquid. Bucket 2 is your midterm fund, maybe 5 to 8 years of expenses, probably in bonds. And bucket 3, well, that's your long-term growth engine, filled with stocks, just left alone to grow for the future.
So here's the game plan. You live off the cash in bucket 1. When it starts to get low, you refill it by selling some bonds from bucket 2. And you only touch the stocks in bucket 3 during good market years to top up the other buckets. This creates this brilliant buffer, so you never have to sell your growth assets in a down market. It's a strategy built for peace of mind.
But what if you don't want to just play defense? Our second challenger is the complete opposite. It's an aggressive, intelligent fighter that adapts its strategy in real time. This is dynamic spending.
So, unlike the fixed 4% rule, dynamic strategies, they're often called guardrail strategies, have no set withdrawal amount. Instead, your spending is flexible. When the market is booming and your portfolio is up, you spend more. But when the market is down, you have to be disciplined enough to cut back your spending.
This slide shows the stark contrast. The Amundi source lays it out really clearly. The 4% rule is static. It gives you a steady income. The dynamic strategy, on the other hand, actively changes its risk profile, and that leads to variable, totally unpredictable spending. The weakness of the 4% rule, bad market timing. The weakness of dynamic spending, it requires you to be incredibly flexible with your actual lifestyle.
And that right there is the massive trade-off. This intelligent strategy sounds great on paper, but it comes at a potentially brutal cost to your actual life.
This quote from a user on Reddit just brings it all home. In one simulation of a dynamic strategy during a bad market run, their potential annual spending plummeted from $55,000 down to just $15,000. That is a brutal, life-altering cut. I mean, are you really prepared to slash your lifestyle by more than 2/3? For most people, that is just not a realistic option.
So after seeing the old champ and the new contenders, we're left with the real question. This isn't about which strategy is the best. It's about deciding what your survival plan is going to look like.
It really all boils down to this ultimate trade-off. On one side, you've got the bucket strategy. It's built for psychological comfort, it's simple, it's intuitive, and it helps you avoid panic selling. On the other side, you have dynamic strategies. They are way more complex, but mathematically they can offer a higher probability of your money lasting, provided you can stomach the wild swings in your spending.
So, before you pick your champion for this fight, you have to be totally honest with yourself. How flexible is your budget really? Could you actually slash your spending by 50% if you absolutely had to? How much market chaos can you handle without losing sleep? And ultimately, what's the real goal here? Squeezing every last possible dollar out of your portfolio, or having a plan that lets you sleep soundly at night?
In the end, every retirement plan is a bet. There are no guarantees. So the final question is, what are you willing to risk? The comfort of a predictable life, or the security of a volatile but maybe mathematically superior future? The choice is yours.